Inside a Newcastle, Delaware National Guard building named after his late son and veteran Beau Biden, President Joe Biden discussed a new bill to help veterans.
We're determined to do something about this, come hell or high water.
The PACT Act expands VA care and benefits to veterans exposed to burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. The town hall was part of multiple other events across the country to encourage veterans to get screened and sign up for benefits.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz, planning for an even larger surge of migrants at the U.S. southern border.
All week long, we've been promised more details soon on what system exactly is going to be in place when Title 42 expires just 5 days from now. DHS is asking for funds to surge resources to the border, impose consequences for unlawful entry, bolster nonprofit capacity, and target smugglers. But lawmakers who would have to vote on all this say they still don't have any details, and they're hesitant to throw money at the Homeland Security Secretary, who's always said the border's secure.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. 76 missiles this morning, 40 in the capital of Kyiv. That's what Ukrainian authorities say Russia launched.
60 of the 76 missiles were shot down by Ukrainian air defense, as 37 of the 40 were shot down over Kyiv. Despite that, there is significant damage to critical infrastructure in Kyiv, Kharkiv, and other parts of the country as well. Much of Ukraine is dealing with power outages and planned blackouts after the strike amid freezing temperatures.
Fox's Nate Foy. Fears of a recession and another interest rate hike pushing down markets. The Dow closing down 282 after being down almost 600 points earlier in the day. America's listening to Fox News.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey, did you get that proposal done?
It can wait till tomorrow.
Some things can wait.
Should we book those flights to see your folks?
We can do it later.
But untreated COVID isn't one of them. If you're 50 or older or have a chronic condition, COVID can be deadly. Got COVID symptoms? Talk to a doctor and get treatment right away, because it just can't wait. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Another round of so-called Twitter files was just released by Matt Taibbi. Today's release highlighting FBI ties with the tech giant and the collection, analysis, and flagging of social media content. Taibbi saying Twitter's contact with FBI was constant and pervasive, as if it was a subsidiary. He included an email claiming the FBI flagged accounts for potential violations of Twitter's terms of service and suggested they be suspended. Improvements on Florida's southwest coast as cleanup continues from Category 4 Hurricane Ian in September.
At Hurricane Ian's ground zero, empty lots sit where houses, hotels, and businesses used to be. The push to rebuild and reopen, though, is aggressive. Fort Myers Beach today, 3 months since the Category 4 storm hit, remains littered with rubble, uninhabitable homes, and now empty lots. We flew with the Lee County Sheriff over the devastated barrier islands, and he says the progress is amazing compared to how things looked in October. Businesses like Doc Ford's Rum Bar and Grill are pouring concrete and rehabilitating, spending millions to reopen in 60 days.
Fox's Phil Keating. A military base in Georgia is allowing trainees to head home for the holidays. Fox's Jonathan Seary.
In all, Fort Benning has granted more than 12,000 soldiers a holiday block leave, about half of them traveling either with family or by bus, the other half coming through Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Army leaders say during this intense phase of their training, it's important these young men and women get a chance to rest and also a chance to show their family and friends back home how military life has transformed them for the better. And we asked some of the trainees what they're looking forward to doing once they get home.
Probably shopping with my mom and just buying her some clothes and some probably some jewelry too, sir.
I'm Ann Carrick, Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, vicinity, and it's more or less behaving as it ought to be weather-wise for this point in December time. Seasonal to a bit below on temperatures, a dash of snow in the air. Heads up on the Arctic Express. It is a cold wave weather pattern that builds into the area here over the middle and late portions of next week, preceded by a little system snow and maybe some winter storm conditions as well into the middle and late portions of next week. So brace yourselves accordingly. Windy, colder for the day today, and a couple of snow showers and flurries around this morning, and again later in the day up to 32. A few flurries early on tonight. We'll bottom out to a low of 21. Tomorrow mostly cloudy, breezy, cold. Couple of snow flurries around for the afternoon, and high at about 28 degrees. Sunday, again a snow shower and flurry chance morning and afternoon. Highs up to about 29 there, and the snow shower and flurry activity builds into some system snow over the course of late Wednesday, Thursday next week, and by late next week, high temperatures just into the teens. For Stevie G Broadcasting, I'm Peter Olshes, Greg Solgay.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny.
Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage, kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over! I didn't come here to go 5 and 7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now. I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielma.
You no longer here. Salute to yourself.
What?
We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's The Drive.
Smack Dogs.
Thunderstorm.
Oh, yeah.
Thunderstorm.
So Coleman came out firing today, huh?
I'll say, yeah. He did.
Derek Piper. Hey, it's The Drive. Good morning. The Drive with Tay and Piper. I'm back in the main seat because I was deemed that I talked too much the last 2 days, so now they've put me back in this one for a day to learn my lesson. You had come in just a second ago, and of course you were at Brad Underwood's press conference today. Terrence Shannon spoke, as did Coleman Hawkins, and I had texted you. Of course, I was sitting, waiting idly for a train, and I texted you and said, hey, should we play some of Brad? And you're like, yeah, that'd be good. And then you walked in and you're like, you know what? Brad's not bad. Coleman's really good. So we're going to play some of the Coleman Hawkins at the end of this hour. I guess he kind of answered the bell when it came to leadership and being questioned and such, right?
We were very interested what today was going to bring in terms of the response from the players, because Brad, as we have talked about throughout the week, it's well documented, went off after the Penn State loss and called out leadership, had the fart noise that went viral on Twitter in response to Terrence Shannon's leadership. So we finally got a chance to ask Terrence about that. Coleman is one that is obviously a veteran, has been around here a long time at this point, and so he's no stranger to Brad going nuclear or calling out his team. But now Coleman's in a little bit of a different role where the ownership falls on him more now than it did in the past to figure things out and to guide this team now. So. And the thing we always say about Coleman, I love it. I respect him for it. He always tells you exactly what's on his mind.
Yeah.
And I think there will be times where we even wonder in the media, like, would those inside the program want you to say that? But again, they roll him out there. They know how Coleman operates. Again, It's something that he's not afraid to speak his mind. That's not to say it in a bad way at all. And he gave some revealing answers about just kind of what this team needed, the approach that they've taken up to this point, and maybe that Penn State showed they got to do some things differently. And then we asked him about the leadership role, and he mentioned that he's having a hard time trying to figure that thing out because he's trying to pick his spots, and it's a new deal for him. It's not Trent Frazier who had done it for years, or Io. It's now Coleman trying to navigate his way through that. So I thought Coleman gave some really good insight and responses, and some honest ones.
I think it's kind of funny that, and I'm going to talk about myself here just a second. I think it's kind of funny that Coleman is similar, like, to a lot of people. In other words, there's people like him, like I feel like I am. Like, I enjoy having fun. Coleman has fun. He's one of those guys that even on the court, he's having fun. And what I mean by that is you could almost sit there and look at a guy like Coleman, because this has happened to me sometimes during my life and when I was in sports and then in business. Sometimes I don't think people looked at me. They always respected me. They always thought that I did a good job with my job. But I don't know that sometimes they thought, okay, he could be like the guy that leads this, or he could do this. I think sometimes maybe even I, which I shouldn't, look at a guy like Coleman and think to myself, is he the Trent Frazier kind of guy? Is he the Io kind of guy? I don't know that that's fair. Just because Trent was pretty serious, and he would have fun, don't get me wrong. Io was definitely serious. There's been other guys in other sports that you look at and you're like, oh, yeah, he's a natural-born leader. Coleman just kind of, does his thing, has his fun, says what he wants to say. I think we'd get in trouble if we thought that he wouldn't be a pretty good leader.
I think he's capable of it.
I do too.
I think he's someone that's not going to be afraid to say what's on his mind to his teammates.
That's bingo. In other words, where I think some guys would say it, but they'd hesitate. I think Coleman, it comes out of his mouth fluently.
Right. and he's on your roster. He's been here longer than anybody. He's been here 3 years. You look at Luke and RJ, been here 2, and then everybody else is a newcomer. So Coleman has put the time in to be in that position to tell people what he thinks. And of course, he's going to have to be held accountable as well when he doesn't play up to par. And he was part of, nobody really played well in that Penn State game. So you can't pinpoint and say, well, Coleman played well and everybody else didn't. And he should be able to just stand up in front of the class and just go off on everybody. But yeah, I think that he deserves to be put in that role. I know Brad mentioned today, I asked him, I was like, how do you want Coleman to approach that leadership role? And he said it's about being yourself, not trying to be something that you're not, because some guys aren't cut from the same cloth in terms of, Io was this gritty dude that was going to get in your face, and that was just who he was. Now, some guys might try to force that, and that's not them, and you got to be able to earn the right to do that too. Like, teammates are going to know.
Yeah. Like, I'd be scared of Io.
Yeah. Teammates are going to know who the alpha is.
Right.
And if the alpha's going after you, you kind of accept it if it's warranted. Mm-hmm. If someone's trying to just be that dude and they're not, then you're not gonna respect them. But Coleman, again, has been here long enough, is a big enough part of this team. I think him and Terrence are for sure the leadership guys that you would point to. Luke can work his way back into that, and it's easier when you're on the court and in those battles to really grasp that role, and we can talk to Luke about that. I'm excited to do our weekly visit with Luke Goody, but yeah, I think Coleman can be that. It's just, obviously we don't see everything, but he does have kind of that fun-loving, goofy, emotional side of him too, that it goes along with this guy that is not afraid to speak his mind.
You mentioned it. Luke Goody will be on at 5:05 today. We'll do our weekly chat with Luke Goody on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. We're excited that about 7 minutes from now, Brad Evans is going to join us. Brad Evans, of course, made his fame in Yahoo Sports and Bally Sports and just everything in terms of both fantasy advice, gambling. He does a little bit of everything. Brad is a local guy, now lives back in our area. We haven't talked to Brad in a while, and we thought, it'd be a good time to ask him about Illinois. He's a big Illinois fan. So we'll ask him about the Illini, and then also it is first round of fantasy football playoffs in the majority of leagues. I don't know how some work, but so if you have a question for Brad, we will definitely ask it. And the way we would like to do it is not more than, don't ask like a ton of questions.
Don't read off your entire team.
Right, exactly. Just give the old, like in my situation, would you rather have J.K. Dobbins out there or Brian Robinson? Just like that. And then Brad will give you his thoughts. And as he always says on Twitter, I'm just giving you my thought. You don't have to follow the advice. So, don't get mad at Brad.
That's right.
But certainly we'll let you have that. And I'm telling you, this is a guy that has 150,000 followers on Twitter. And if he puts out there on Twitter something, he gets people from all over. I told you the story. We had him on one time, and he had retweeted it. We were getting calls from San Antonio, Texas, and Pensacola, Florida, and, Los Angeles. I don't think it was L.A., but it was somewhere in California. And I'm like, this is crazy. All right, let's go to Inglewood, California. Tom's got a question for Brad. So if you have a quick question, send that in to us at 217-359-2255. We got one yesterday, Burrow or Josh Allen.
That's right.
And it is supposed to snow a ton in Buffalo, so I think that one's answered for you. But 359-2255.
I've got a Burrow one of my own.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Do. Yeah.
So we will we'll ask Brad your questions if you have one for fantasy. He's going to join us at 4:20. He was going to come in studio, but he didn't realize we had switched to Philo.
Oh.
So he's like, hey, I'm going to be in town. I'm just going to run by the studio. And he's like, give me the address again. And I'm like, well, Brad, we moved down to Philo. And he gave the old Philo with a question mark. I said, well, come down to the center of the universe. You can enjoy Philo.
You just rode the train. It goes by here 8 times a day.
Just jump on it. Jump on that Polar Express. But no, so no Brad in studio, which if that would have happened, we would have been here until 5, probably 6.
It's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, we would have just had to blow off Luke Goody essentially at that point because Brad probably just would have sat here and talked fantasy. All right, so we will do that with Brad Evans coming up at 4:20 again on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. If you want to weigh in with your questions at 359-2255, that is the U of I Illini Link text line. Of course, you got to use that 217 in front of that. Again, we will talk to Luke Goody, and we'll hear from Coleman Hawkins into this hour. I'm excited now to hear this. Like, you have me, my interest peaked on Coleman Hawkins. So here's what we'll do. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll visit with Brad Evans. It is The Drive.
Hi, this is Amanda Jean, the founder and planner of Inspire Your Wedding and Events. It's Inspire Your Wedding Showcase coming to Carmen's in downtown Champaign on Sunday, March 26th from 2 to 5. Join us for the biggest wedding showcase of the year, bringing together vendors and couples from all over Central Illinois. Find out how to learn, connect, and book services to create a magical day. Join us for the premier wedding showcase Sunday, March 26th from 2 to 5 at Carmen's in downtown Champaign. For complete details, visit inspireyour.com. That's inspireyour.com.
Welcome winter this December at Urbana Park District's Anita Purvis Nature Center. The Winter Solstice celebration is December 17th from 4 to 7 p.m. Everyone is welcome. People under age 15 must be accompanied by an adult. Join us around a fire for snacks, stories, and tree decorating. You will also get the chance to reflect on 2022 and look ahead to 2023. This is a free event, but please call the Nature Center to reserve your spot. 217-384-4062. Welcome winter December 17th at Anita Purvis Nature Center. Learn more at urbanaparks.org.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. As much as I did my research, he has a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
Prairie Gardens is your local one-stop gift shop. It's a magical winter wonderland full of perfect holiday gifts. With candles and scents full with warmth and cheer. Stocking stuffers and toys for the smallest of receivers. Gifts for the gardener and bird lover. And a peachy boutique with buy one, get one half off savings. All jewelry, hats, gloves, and scarves. Buy one, get one half off this week. At Prairie Gardens, your Christmas destination for over 50 years.
If you're looking for a new car, go to Sarah Champaign, because at Sarah Subaru, they have over 100 new Subarus available right now, all with symmetrical all-wheel drive. The Subaru Share the Love event is on too. With every new Subaru purchased or leased through January 3rd, Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of charities. Sarah Subaru will also donate an additional $50 to the Champaign County Humane Society right here in our community. Visit Sarah Subaru right off Route 45 in Savoy.
Now, the NIL jersey lineup for your Fighting Illini. Number 55, Sky Clark. Number 15, R.J. Melendez. Number 10, Luke Goody. Number 20, Ty Rogers. Number 0, Terrence Shannon Jr. And number 33, Coleman Hawkins. Get yours at State Farm Center on game day, online or in stores. Game Day Spirit, official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
High energy bills or not enough hot water for your shower? Call Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing for a Rinnai Energy Star rated tankless water heater. These high efficiency units give you unlimited hot water while keeping your utility bills low and lasting twice the lifespan of a regular tanked water heater. Upgrading your home with a second bathroom or finishing that basement? Dogtown has a free in-home consultation to get your project started and to stay on track. Call 217-841-4728 to get a certified plumber on your doorstep. Mention this commercial for an additional 10% off. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend.
At the Long Branch Steakhouse, you know about the incredible steaks cooked to perfection. But did you know you can have your own private holiday or Christmas party at the Long Branch in Gifford? If you have a company party that you're planning, you can rent the whole place on a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday night. To plan your event between 25 and 50 people, call 217-568-7722. We did it. It was fabulous. The Long Branch Steakhouse for your Christmas or holiday party. Limited nights are available. Call 217-568-7722.
Get back to the things you need and love to do with physical therapy at Mettler Center. Two of the biggest barriers to starting therapy are getting a referral from your doctor and insurance coverage. But good news, Illinois is a direct access state, so you can start therapy without a doctor's referral. In addition, at Mettler, we accept all major insurances: Health Alliance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, HealthLink, Medicare, and most recently, Aetna and Cigna. We invite you to schedule a complimentary 30-minute consultation today. Visit us at MettlerCenter.com.
Dak Prescott here. Why do I choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because better sleep elevates my game. Only my Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps me fall asleep faster, keeps me cool, and effortlessly adjusts for my best sleep. The result? 28 minutes more restful sleep a night. That's more focus, more edge, and more highlights. And that means more wins for all of us.
Don't miss the final days of the biggest sale of the year. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Sit back and relax and take the drive with Lonte and Derek Piper. Weekdays 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Oh, boy. I wonder what comes to Brad Evans' mind first when he hears this song. Like, we all, can associate this with a certain era of our life. I'm so old that that really didn't associate with any kind of era, but maybe Brad Evans can associate this. What's up, buddy?
Hola, amigos. What's going on? Yes, I can associate this song with every wager I place in the NFL.
This is why he's a star. That's exactly why he's a star. Hey, touche to that, buddy, because it's not easy doing that, is it?
No, I do it every single day for an hour on national television, and you see my record. It's not so sterling, gentlemen.
I told everybody the disclaimer that Brad always says, hey, I'm giving you my opinion. That doesn't mean you have to take it.
Yeah, fade or follow. That's entirely up to you. Is what I always say.
That's exactly right. Well, we will, if you don't mind, at the end of this, we'll ask you a couple of fantasy questions. We're going to have people text in if they have a quick question for you, your thoughts as the playoffs get underway today. I know Pipes probably asked you a betting question or two, but I want to hear your thoughts on Illinois football. We'll also talk a little bit about Brad Underwood, but Brad Evans, it's nice having Brad back in the 217 because now the football team is heading to Florida bowl games, my friend. Well done.
Yeah, no doubt. And obviously there's just an unfortunate backdrop to this bowl game due to the passing of Mike Leach just out of nowhere. Absolute legend in the coaching ranks, and his soundbite equally legendary post-game. So really somber feeling that you're going to have there in Tampa at the ReliaQuest Bowl. But what a tremendous year for Illinois. You go into expectations. The over-under on team wins in Vegas was 3.5 for crying out loud, and they blow that out of the water. We had a hot moment there when they were rocking and roll. We thought, hey, they're going to represent the Big Ten West and the Big Ten title game. Unfortunately, Purdue caught us, and we had a couple of unfortunate miscues in a pair of home games. But, still, this team has made enormous strides, and Chase Brown is going to be probably a second or third round pick in the NFL draft, and a guy that I'm going to have on every single fantasy team imaginable next year because he can do everything, including pick up the blitz coverage, exceptional pass blocker for a guy in college, and breaks a lot of tackles too. So We'll see who's going to be in uniform for the Reliant Quest Bowl. A lot of guys opting out. Witherspoon, obviously, Sidney Brown, as they're focused on trying to get their bodies and brains prepared for the NFL. They're going to be, probably first day, maybe second day draft picks when it's all said and done. But it's just a tremendous opportunity to showcase the orange and blue is back on the national scene. And I also saw today that we were number one, tied with the University of Georgia, for crying out loud, with the most All-Americans in the nation.
Wow.
So I applaud Mr. Bielema. I applaud Ryan Walters. Unfortunately, couldn't keep him. And a great gig for him at Purdue. Just an unbelievable turn of events here in Champaign. I'm excited, too, what the future is going to hold in the building blocks. We're going to, build off of this just unreal season.
And, Brad, what a huge offseason coming up, trying to fill the defensive coordinator role that Ryan Walters, of course, leaves. Unfortunately, he's got to just go across the street in the Big Ten West to Purdue to face him every year, but that's a big deal. And then the quarterback position. I will pose this to you because I know you know the college football landscape extremely well. If you were given the choice of getting Tommy DeVito back for another year or whether you could get a Devin Leary or someone in the portal, how would you approach that if you're Brett Bielema?
Well, you obviously you're going to take DeVito, and if you can get the 7th year or 10,000th year, I don't know, it's insane how many years he's been in college. But if you can get granted that, he already knows the system. He's ingrained in the culture of the university. So unlike with Leary, there could be a transition process there. It's turnkey. Everything's set in stone. So if you can get that extra year of eligibility on Tommy DeVito, you absolutely take it. There's no question in my mind. But Illinois doing their due diligence, making inroads with guys, veteran players who've got starting experience, who already have their names in the portal. Of course, Leary with his brother here has that connection. So, yeah, if I had a vote, behind the scenes in a dark room, maybe some smoke billowing out of it with Bielema and company, I would definitely go and say Tommy DeVito, if he wants to come back, we're going to take him, and he's going to be our starter next season.
Brad in that red velvet jacket in there.
I can play the role for sure.
Absolutely.
Brad, one more on college football as we go into bowl season, and you mentioned the potential opt-outs, which you certainly understand for guys that have business decisions to make, but how do you approach that? I mean, number one, from the betting side, that can obviously complicate things when you're trying to get involved on a side or whatnot, but then just kind of as the consumer of the bowl game and not, outside of the college football playoff where guys are gonna opt out, and what do you think of that, just kind of where the future of the bowl game's going forward with that dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, it puts it in jeopardy, honestly. A lot of these guys are opting out, and it's justifiable. I mean, you got to represent and watch out for yourself and your wallet, your potential to make money. And, if there's an opportunity at the next level, why risk it for, an exhibition game in which you're seeing very little of the revenue out of? With NIL and all that at play, those are factors as well. And you want to represent the school that, you have emblazoned across your chest. But, I think ultimately it could debunk some of these exhibition games or it makes them extremely dicey. From a sports betting perspective, have I wagered on one of these bowl games upcoming? Hell to the no, because I don't know, I have no idea who's really going to play and who's going to be motivated to play in a lot of these games. I mean, look at the Oregon State matchup against Florida. Florida's got 10 guys. They're going to be out of this game, including their starting quarterback in Richardson, as they are, angling for the future. So, you're seeing the line jump. It's now the Beavers there by 10.5, and that's just one example of the ripple effects that are impacting not only on the surface in that game, but of course the betting markets as well, which I know and love. So I'd rather blow my money on Chicago State, Southern Illinois tonight than invest in one of the bowl games. And I may actually throw to Indiana today and place a wager on the Cougars. No lie detected.
Boom. I like this. Do it like a big dog, by the way. Go with the dogs. All right, Brad Evans is our guest. At Noisy Huevos is where you follow him on Twitter. All of you do. Again, we are going to ask Brad a few fantasy questions at the end. So if you have just a simple this guy versus this guy, send that in 359-2255. Let's switch to basketball. What do you think of Brad Underwood, obviously coming off that interesting press conference with Penn State, but certainly a team that has beaten the likes of Texas, beaten the likes of UCLA? How will those games look in March? Will that just be a sparkling thing for Brad and this crew when they get into NCAA pairing time?
Yeah, it's glistening right now. I mean, UCLA just going in and from start to finish, obliterating, annihilating, destroying Maryland was so impressive, which Illinois couldn't do, obviously, on the road there. Right. That one came down to the bitter end, and unfortunately did not get the victory, but not a bad loss on the resume by any stretch of the imagination, as Maryland's going to be a single-digit seed come tournament time, and that was a road game. The Penn State game was an anomaly in my mind. I think the switching was a defensive issue that, Brad went back and looked at the tape. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to switch hardly at all if I do it at all in this game because of, Penn State's uniqueness with Pickett to back down at, 6'3", 6'4" as a point forward and either put it off the glass and into the rim or kick it out for three. And those rotations killed Illinois. You leave Penn State open, that veteran group can knock down shots. And Funk was just out of body and out of mind in that game. Every single time the ball left his hand, whether the shot was contested or not, it was going through the rim. It was insane. And you're just going to, you chalk it up to just one of those nights. Again, Penn State is probably going to be a tournament team. They may be a double-digit seed, but they got a lot of veteran savvy. They're old and experienced. And Illinois, largely inexperienced. Brad is still tinkering with the rotation and the lineup. And I think you guys are going to be talking to Luke Goody a little bit later on in the program, getting him back, getting his legs back, getting his stroke back offensively. Hopefully he can be the consistent outside shooter this squad desperately needs. And if they get that kind of effort with him and given the defensive chops that Illinois has, they're going to be just fine. I'm not concerned about us winning another Big Ten title. It sure as hell would be nice. I'm more concerned is this team better constructed to make a deeper run in March?
Yes.
And as I've seen it so far, I say absolutely it is. They defend, they're long, they're athletic, they're a tough matchup squad, but they got to show consistency across the board, and that's still a work in progress.
Brad, as you look around the Big Ten, some early season takeaways. Purdue, number one in the country. What's their ceiling? Wisconsin, one word, why? Why are they continue to do what they do even without Johnny Davis? What are some impressions of some other teams as you start to analyze it across the Big Ten?
Yeah, I mean, a very impressive conference, and I'm not saying this as a biased University of Illinois grad or Big Ten supporter necessarily, but it is the best conference in the land, top to bottom, pound for pound. Now, we'll just overlook Minnesota because they're going to be lucky to win a single game, I think, in conference action this season. But even a team like Nebraska has vastly improved. And, they pushed Purdue to the limit. And Purdue's been very good because, Zach Edey is, such a matchup nightmare. But it's Smith and some of the other perimeter players that added the balance that they really needed. And we know that the Boilers are always going to defend stiffly and stoutly, under Painter. So, I'm not remotely surprised at the success that they've had so far this year. And that team could be a number one seed when the brackets are unveiled come March. Now, Wisconsin, just keep beating on that same drum. It's all about schematics. It's all about system. It doesn't matter if guys are 2-star, 3-star, 1-star, 0-star. If you fit what Gray Guard is selling, if you fit the scheme, the strategy, and you defend, and you have a willingness to do all those things to play at a slow, methodical pace, you're going to frustrate the opposition, and you're going to play very well within that system, within that structure. You saw it last night against Lehigh. Lehigh, number 333, I think, entering the night, and for Torvik or Ken Palm, they are north of 300 as well. They played Wisconsin very close. Had a lead there at halftime, but the Badgers eventually exerted their will and just pressured them to death, and as a result, ended up getting a pretty easy victory. So it's not shocking. Wisconsin's going to do what Wisconsin always does. People will pick them like 10th in the Big Ten, and they're always going to finish, 5th or 6th or higher. So this league is outstanding. Conference play is about to get underway, and it's going to be a bloodbath. Night in, night out, just exceptional basketball. And, And I'm sick of the narrative of, they're going to beat each other up and they're going to underachieve in the postseason. This is the year for the Big Ten. They're the best conference, pound for pound, in the land.
Brad, as we transition into the NFL, I know you're a Bears fan, and on paper, the Bears-Eagles matchup doesn't really matter a whole lot. I guess we should just continue to lose and get that draft pick. But it's been fun to watch Justin Fields against Hurts in this one. What do you think about that? And can the book set the Fields rushing number too high, or is it an auto over bet at this point?
Well, yeah, it's pretty close to an auto bet. I mean, it's high this week. Last I checked, it was at 66.5 rush yards at BetMGM. That's a pretty hefty number. But, he is the centerpiece of the entire offensive scheme. And you're right. Look, I'm a Bears guy. Keep losing. And people are saying, you're ready for them to lose against the arch-rival Packers? Yes, I was. Absolutely. I want a better draft pick because I want to beat Aaron Rodgers' backside and the Packers for the next 10 years. They play their hand right on that draft pick. So I was fine with the yell. They've been competitively losing, which is even better.
Yes.
They're finding creative ways to blow games late, which is outstanding. So keep it up, Chicago. But, it's going to be more of the same this week. I actually like the Bears to cover the +9 against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are front runner and understandably so in the NFC to represent the Super Bowl in Phoenix. But the Bears, because of the duality of Fields, are a matchup problem, and you can run all day on Philadelphia. There is a weakness with this Eagles team. It's their ability to defend the run, giving up close to 5 yards per carry to running backs. And, of course, Fields 10 to 15 times a game operates as a running back. So I will sit down. I will watch the game. I will root for the L. But, 30 to 29, I'll take it all day. Go Philadelphia.
Love it. Is it Bills or Chiefs to win the Super Bowl?
Neither. And honestly, and this is recency bias. You're going to say it's a hell of a drug, but I've been saying this for weeks now. I think San Francisco is the best team in the NFL.
Okay.
And even with Brock Purdy as their quarterback, I can't believe it that Mr. Irrelevant, who is a rookie, is doing the things that he is doing. But again, it speaks to the system. It's like Wisconsin in basketball. San Francisco, whether it's Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, or Purdy, you plug and play a quarterback. When you have a fantastic front line defensively, offensively, you have terrific back-end defenders as well. Shavarius Ford was genius last night. And your ability to run the ball with Christian McCaffrey and his duality to go along with Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle, Jawan Jennings out the slot, all Purdy's got to do is not turn the ball over and game manage. And San Francisco is going to win, and they've shown that they can win convincingly. Just ask Tom Brady.
Boom.
Brad, I grabbed the Niners 8-1 last night. I had to.
Oh!
Smart. Yeah, I grabbed them right after the Garoppolo news, before he even saw Purdy play a single game in Niners gear. I remember him from Iowa State. I'm like, he's decent. But again, it's all about the system.
Yeah.
Shanahan is a brilliant offensive mind. He's got to put him in the right situation. So that line shifted. It was 11-1 for them to just represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I said, I'll fire off a ticket on that.
I love it. All right, Brad Evans, before we get to this, and we have about 6 or 7 questions that we can rip through really quick just to get your opinion on that. Give everybody an idea of what you're doing now. I know you're the gaming content at Bally Sports. Plus 5,000 other things. What are some of the things that people can catch with Brad Evans?
Yeah, my official fancy title on the business card is executive producer of gaming content at Bally Sports.
Awesome.
I'm doing that full time. I have a show called Live on the Line. It airs Monday through Friday. Also, we have Sunday shows during the NFL season. It's an hour-long, all sports betting. We're sponsored by BetMGM. That airs across all the Bally Sports regional sports networks, on the Yes Network as well, and Marquee in Chicago. So hopefully you're consuming and checking that out. Hell, you can stream it on watchstadium.com/live for free as well if you don't have access to any of those RSNs. I have a podcast company. My buddy Toby Mergler and I run. It's called Sawdust Pod, to crank out the Fate 5 podcast 3 days a week there. We had a new episode I taped this morning. We also stream it on YouTube. And I'm out of the radio game for right now. I had a very popular show on Sirius XM's Fantasy Channel for a couple of years. But I had a back away from that in May. But maybe I'll get back in the radio game sooner rather than later. But I'm a busy man, and I really enjoy what I'm doing.
Please do. I used to listen to that a lot and get a lot of advice from that. Obviously, I didn't listen this year, and that's why my team is horrible, because Brad Evans decided to stop the show. Thanks a lot, Brad. All right. I want to start. There's there's two quick no PPR. The rest of it will be PPR. So here we go on a no PPR. Yep. Zeke or Christian Watson?
Non-PPR, I got to go Zeke. He's a touchdown machine. I believe he scored now in 5 straight games. I know Jacksonville a little bit more formidable against the run, but you get a goal-to-go situation, ball to belly, it's going to go in Zeke's hands. And given his frequency for punching him in, I think you're going to probably get 55, 65 yards out of him and a TD this week.
Boom. He did it late against the Texans. How about Tua versus Cousins? Again, a non-PPR.
Well, with the weather concerns in Western New York, and they're legitimate, I don't know if you guys know this, I have a master's degree in geoscience with an emphasis in meteorology. So I've been studying the lake effect snow warnings that are in effect right now in the greater Buffalo area. And where Orchard Park is oriented, it's about 15 miles southeast of the center of downtown Buffalo. And they could be in the crosshairs on tomorrow night. In that game, we could have accumulations up to a half a foot during the game, with winds kicking up to 25 miles an hour at times, and some of the stronger squall gusts. So you got to shy away from a warm weather quarterback in that game. As a result, Kirk Cousins, who has been rickety at best the last couple of weeks. Right. I know he's largely unreliable, but I don't trust Tua in the snow.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know whether to trust you or not that you have that degree, but I assume you do. All right, now these are all PPR. Can we just say anything with Allen, take the other guy because of the weather? In other words, we have Burrow versus Allen or Tua versus Allen.
Yeah, I think you still go Allen, though.
Okay.
And, I mean, Burrow, you could make the argument. I think I have Allen ranked slightly higher than Joe Burrow, and it's all about the rushing appeal, right?
Okay.
If it is weather impacted, and that's the nature of the squalls, you got to be in the thick of it, and there could be snow rates of 1 inch to 2 inches per hour. And I'm not making this up. This is what the National Weather Service said. But if you're, on the fringe of that squall or outside of it, you got nothing. So you'll have to see how that sets up. But I think Allen is still going to run the ball heavily in this game. Really good shot, I think, for 50-plus any rushing score as well. So I don't want to shy away from that. And also, you're going to just get cherry on top of the Sunday, any action that he throws to Gabe Davis, and especially Stephon Diggs.
Amen. I've got 4 more. I know Pipes has a couple, so we'll go quick. Burrow, Fields.
Joe Burrow, slightest of edges there. Fields is going to get you probably 65, 75 yards in the ground, but what, buck 20 through the air?
Yeah.
Burrow's throwing for at least 275 and 2 touchdowns this week at Tampa.
Jeff Wilson, Michael Carter.
Jeff Wilson, provided he's going to be A-OK and clear for takeoff in that snow globe game against the Bills. They're going to have to run the ball early and often and alleviate some of that pressure on Tua.
Olave or Amari Cooper?
Well, Cooper's no sure thing.
Right.
And I really like the matchup for Chris Olave. In New Orleans, thankfully, it's in a dome. And Atlanta, one of the more generous passing defenses in the league. They rank inside the top 10 most fantasy points allowed to the wide receiver position.
Last one for me, Brian Robinson, J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, I actually love both these guys.
Oh.
And I have a ticket open right now on J.K. Dobbins, over 48.5 rush yards. He came out yesterday and said, hey, I'm not 100% still.
Right.
But I was 100% last week. I ran for 100 yards. He goes, when I'm 100%, I'm running for 200 yards in a game. So I love the confidence there, and it's a great matchup. But I'm going to lean ever so slightly the other direction. I think Brian Robinson in a great matchup against an inept run defense of New York. Great shot at 75-plus yards. And a TD.
Perfect.
Brad, I was going to ask you a Burrow-related one as well. I think you answered it already. I'm definitely not. It's a different league, though, because it's not in your league where I was a disgrace. I need to just drink tequila through the entire draft because I'll draft just about as well. I will ask you this before we let you go. A loaded college basketball slate this weekend, starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is there any game that stands out as far as a betting opportunity? I mean, Indiana, Kansas, Bama, Gonzaga, UCLA, Kentucky. Anything that sticks out as the lines start to roll in?
Yeah, once I see the lines, I've got a really opportunity to dig in, but I'll post all of that on Twitter at Noisy Huevos. I have a spreadsheet that's always free and accessible with all of my picks. Again, I'm focused crazily on Chicago State, Southern Illinois tonight, and also Marquette Creighton. But looking at the slate, just fly by, Ohio State, North Carolina intrigues me greatly because North Carolina's been so porous defensively. Their shot selection has been embarrassing. This is a well-coached Buckeyes team. I know that game is going to be played on a neutral floor at the Garden in New York. I'll be curious to see what the line is there. If it's Ohio State catching a point or two, or the line shifts that way, or even if the Buckeyes flip the script or favored by a point or two in that game, I'm going to wager on them regardless. I think this is a 6 to 8 point victory for the Ohio State in that matchup against a struggling North Carolina club.
Brad Evans, we kept you way too long. I try not to bother you. We love when you come on. Thank you so much, my friend. I know we'll hit you up maybe as the basketball season nears March, and we'll get your thoughts on where Illinois should fall, my friend.
Yeah, excellent, guys. Go Illini. Hopefully going to keep racking marquee wins, and we're going to get that top 4 seed come tourney time.
Let's go. Brad Evans, thanks, buddy.
Gracias, amigos.
Thank you, Brad.
That is Brad Evans. Off to shoot a shot of Jose Cuervo. He loves his tequila.
He's the best.
Now, I don't know that he's going to go actually do a shot of Cuervo right now, but he does like his tequila.
He does.
So you did not fare well in his fantasy.
It's terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
You and I both are you good in any league? I don't
in
mean to ask
league.
it like
that.
Okay.
No, that hurt me a little bit the way you asked it.
Yeah, I did only because
kidding.
like every time I've talked to you, you and I both have the same issue.
Well, we have some of the same players.
Right,
That's why we have the same issues. So in Brad's league, I was terrible. In another league, I'm in the playoffs and had a good start last night. Not to jinx it, I had McCaffrey and Kittle. And that was pretty nice.
You're through. You're through in that one to the next round. My goodness. McCaffrey and Kittle both had big nights, especially McCaffrey. I think in our league, he got the guy 66 points.
We had 6 catches, ran for over 100 and a touchdown, and then Kittle had 2 receiving touchdowns last night, and darn near 100 points.
I think he
or
had
100 yards, I should say.
38, I think.
I'll take 100 points if you'll give it to me.
Let's go, right? But you know our league. You got to love our league. It's awesome. All right, let's take a quick break. I'm trying in my head to figure out if we can do this with Coleman Hawkins. I think we've maybe run out of time. So what we may do is hold Coleman for next hour. Is that fair?
Sure.
And it's something you definitely want to hear. Now, we've got Luke Goody off the top next hour at 5:05. Then what we could do is follow that up with a little Coleman Hawkins and maybe even get a little Brad Underwood in there. Illinois, of course, playing Alabama A&M. Tough matchup, according to Brad Underwood. I do want to ask you about the matchup and how Illinois responds. We'll do that when we return. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. It is The Drive.
If you're looking for a new car, go to Sarah Champagne, because at Sarah Subaru, they have over 100 new Subarus available right now, all with symmetrical all-wheel drive. The Subaru Share the Love event is on, too. With every new Subaru purchased or leased through January 3rd, Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of charities. Sarah Subaru will also donate an additional $50 to the Champaign County Humane Society right here in our community. Visit Sarah Subaru right off Route 45 in Savoy.
PDR Automotive in Urbana is a locally owned repair shop, and they've now serviced over 250,000 vehicles in their near 50-year history. Now, that's more than 4 times the size of a sold-out Memorial Stadium. It's more than all Division I athletes in the country combined. That's more than the entire population of Champaign County. That's more than, well, you get the idea. When you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Christmas markdowns are starting now at Prairie Gardens, with hundreds of items on sale throughout the store, including all Christmas ornaments, the entire stock, and extra 30% off. Santas and snowmen, cardinals and deer, so many ornaments from which to choose, all ready to hang to bring your home cheer. And now save an extra 30% off each and every one. At Prairie Gardens, your Christmas destination for over 50 years.
It's the holidays, and you want to shop local. Well, shop at one of the best locally owned retail stores in town. Pard's Western Shop, but it's far more than Western. Pard's has an incredible selection of clothing for men and women and boys and girls with the greatest service and the best boots you can buy. Don't shop online, support all that out-of-town stuff. Shop local. And Pard's will be open expanded holiday hours until December 23rd. They're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, Sundays noon to 5. Pard's in Urbana, 306 North Maple between University and Main in Urbana.
Since 1994, Matex Service Company has been the preferred heating, cooling, plumbing, sewer, and electrical provider in East Central Illinois. Now is the best time to ensure your home's heating and air system is ready to keep you comfortable year-round. So, your area's top-rated service team is giving you 1 month of heating and air maintenance for free when you join our ProTune monthly maintenance program. With a team of thoroughly trained, licensed, and background check technicians ready to serve you, Matex has the solutions you need to ensure your home is comfortable all year long. Matex. Feel the difference.
Hey Illini fans, it's your girl Chineo Gumake. Catch Lante and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
So I was looking today. We got a game tonight in Stanford, Illinois, against Olympia High School. You literally can't get there. I don't think there's any way to get there. For people aware of the Sullivan, Bethany, Dalton City area, there's no way to get to, like, Bethany. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think I'm going up to, like, Empire and taking 136 over to cruising through Hayworth. I know you've always wanted to roll through there. We go there 3 times next week. Yeah.
Is there just like a park and walk station? Is that what you do?
I don't know.
Just walk through cornfield for a couple miles?
I think, in fact, Luke Bryan's going to be doing a concert in one of the fields up there today. So maybe I'll catch that on the way.
You hope to walk out at the same time Kevin Costner does?
Right. I'm going to go to McLean. Never been to the town of McLean.
They've been waiting on you.
Yep. I wonder if there's a cold beer in McLean, Illinois. I'm sure there is. But I won't have time for that because then I'll be going north a little bit to Olympia High School. Then we get to do it all over again tomorrow and go to Eureka College. So, yeah, and then Hayworth 3 times. I think I just need to get an apartment in Bloomington for the month of December. It would save on a lot of gas money, basically. But, hey, you know what? It is what it is. You know I love every second of it, and I'm going to miss every second of it when it's done. There's no doubt about that. All right, Illinois hosting Alabama A&M. Is this what cures the ill?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't even have to know that much about Alabama A&M. I
They're
can look
really
at
good.
No, they're not. No, they're not. I understand.
Brad Underwood was almost creepy today with his coffee thing at the beginning.
I didn't notice.
He was like, yes.
Oh, the coffee.
Yeah.
I thought you said coughing.
Oh, no. Well, no, that's me that coughs.
Yeah, he was talking about he makes the best coffee.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, yeah, coffee's so good. That's what he does.
He just taunts us sometimes.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't know.
He seemed like he was in a good mood.
He did share. Yeah, he was in a good mood.
Okay.
Now, he should have been. You would appreciate this. They were playing they were blaring some AC/DC, some Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh.
They were rocking out there at the end of practice.
The Arizona Cardinals the other day stretched to warrant cherry pie. And somebody tweeted out, somebody way, way young, said, this is an interesting song. I'm like, yeah, he never heard that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Brad he's taking it up a notch.
Up the spirits.
I love it.
I'm imagining if the team wasn't responding the way that he wanted, then he'd be in a different mood. So it's an opportunity to get right. It's the perfect get right spot. You've had a week off. Now, you do mix finals in there, and Brad even mentioned there were a couple of guys that had finals to finish today. But Alabama A&M, 333rd in Ken Pom out of 360 Division I teams. They're bottom of the barrel. They're 3-6. 2 of their wins are against non-D1 teams, and they're just not very good. They're one of the worst offensive teams when you look at their offensive efficiency. I know that Brad mentioned one thing to really look out for is they're aggressive defensively. They turn you over at a high rate, and they kind of just play, as he said, very similar to how Illinois played early on in his tenure of just really aggressive in the passing lanes, try to take you out of your stuff, try to make you uncomfortable. And their key to having success is turning you over and just completely making you just play sloppy and out of sorts. So Illinois with young guards, we always bring it back to that, and for good reason. You have to take care of the ball. Illinois just in general has been a high turnover team. I mean, when they were sputtering their second half against Texas,
right.
I went back and we were watching some stuff to do a film breakdown, which I did, but they had 17 turnovers, like 8 minutes to go.
Did they really?
In the second half against Texas. Now, Texas is one of the best defensive teams in the country, but we'll have to take care of the ball, but this team's ready to respond.
Yes.
And I think that they'll have every opportunity to do so. It's more about the Missouri game to me, and just kind of a big picture, just not getting – win this game, you'll win by – Ken Pom says you'll win by what, 28?
400?
Yeah, pretty much. And don't get satisfied with it.
No. 1 to 10, 1 being it was miserable, 10 being, hey, we had a great week. How fun do you think it was for those players this week with Brad Underwood and this?
0. You mixed finals?
Not even a 1?
No, you mixed finals in there?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about finals.
0. I would imagine. Now, he said that they had a light practice Tuesday night because they were limited for time constraints with finals. Didn't practice Wednesday, so they haven't really got to ramp it up until late in the week. But I can imagine that Coleman said, and you'll hear from Coleman later in the show, he mentioned treadmill. He said the treadmills really came back and made a presence again. It's now, as he mentioned, I'll steal some of his words. Now I'm not taking away from the appeal of the interview, but he said it used to be here early in the season, make a mistake, you're like, okay, don't do that, got to correct that, we'll move on. Let's run the play again, make one mistake, now it's to the treadmill.
Oh,
so,
boy.
It was that kind of week, and that's why I'm at a solid 0.
Do you know if when they are sent to the treadmill, is there a designated time they're on the treadmill and then they're back on the court, or is it till he basically says, okay, you're good? And then does somebody have to remind him, hey, Coleman's been running for 25 minutes over there, Coach? I mean, I hope somebody
he's still on there?
Yeah, right. I hope somebody is like paying attention and then letting Coach know, hey, by the way, we still have Terrence Shannon running on the treadmill now.
I don't want to call him an expert because I'm sure he hasn't been on it very often. But we got a guy that can answer that question coming up at 5:05. But I believe if you're asking me the answer, I think it's you have to crank it up to a certain speed and then run that for a designated period of time, like a minute or 2 minutes.
It's like a stress test.
Yeah.
Brad's doing a bunch of stress tests, so we should have healthy hearts on this Illinois team.
But Luke Goody could probably give us the exact answer.
We'll ask Luke about that and the music. Like if he ever gets a selection of music, or is it Brad all the time that says, this is what we're playing? I'm assuming Brad lets the kids play the music.
Sometimes.
Although I can't.
He mentioned before they went to Maryland, he was going to throw in some country.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to pick something that would bother people.
Oh.
Now he's like, Matt would probably enjoy this. Luke would probably enjoy this, but there's some guys who don't like country on the team, and I want to make it a trial run for an imposing environment, so to speak.
Can I hot take something? I bet Luke Goody doesn't like country music. Now, I know Matt does. Hell, that's his, like, when he's introduced, he's got some country song.
True, yeah.
I bet Luke doesn't like country. So we're going to ask him that. We're going to ask him that and see what he says.
Before someone texted in, they're going to say, of course you should know that you're his dad.
Well, right.
But
but
you're not really.
Listen, I have no idea what my other 2 kids listen to. They listen to a little bit of everything. Like, Lucas will appease me and throw on some Chesney if we're in a car. Andrew doesn't care. Andrew's throwing on something that they say words that I've never heard, and I know they're bad words, and I'm just like, shut it off. So he'll go to the next song, and I'm like, nope, shut it off. And he's like, really? I'm like, dude, enough. It's just, Hey, since Luke Goody's going to be on, I don't find it appropriate to play the drink song with him. So we got to do it right now. So I'm sneaking one in right before the 5 o'clock hour to Wilson. Is that good enough for you?
Let's do it.
Wilson Contreras, now a St. Louis Cardinal. Put him in the air.
Yeah. Happy hour.
Yeah, Wilson. What's that going to be like when he runs out there opening day?
It's going to be weird, but it's going to be cool.
Would you have rather signed Quintana?
between those two?
No. I'm sorry.
Oh.
And Quintana, 13. I shouldn't start this conversation now. We got 3 seconds. $13 million a year to the Mets. Nah.
I'm all right.
Rodon going to the Yankees for a lot of money.
Yep, sure is.
All right, back with Luke Goody. It's The Drive.
I've got to clean out this garage. Let's see. What's the cheapest and easiest dumpster service in our area?
Here's what I found. The doggy bag.
Think she's broken. I'm not looking for takeout. Siri, try again.
The doggy bag from Bulldog Disposal in Mahomet.
Doggy bag? What's that?
If you got junk that needs to go, but you don't want the hassle of having an enormous dumpster delivered, grab a doggy bag, keep it as long as you need. They'll come take it away. For more information, just visit bulldoggybag.com.
That's bulldoggybag.com.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Last month's shooting at a gay nightclub in Colorado.
All the warning signs were there that Anderson Lee Aldrich was a danger to the community before allegedly opening fire November 19th, killing 5 and injuring 17 at Club Q in Colorado Springs. Court documents show Aldrich was charged in a 2021 kidnapping case that was dismissed by a judge in July, the same judge who warned that Aldrich, who stockpiled weapons and spoke of becoming the next mass killer, needed mental help. Prosecutors elected not to keep the case active. Aldrich, who goes by they-them pronouns and doesn't identify as a man or woman, now facing 305 charges in the deadly nightclub shooting. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The father of an Illinois man charged with killing 7 people in a mass shooting at a July 4th parade in a Chicago suburb has been charged with 7 felony counts of reckless conduct. Lake County District Attorney Eric Reinhardt says the charges against Bob Cremo are based on him sponsoring his then 19-year-old son's application for a gun license.
Parents and guardians are in the best position to decide whether their teenagers should have a weapon. They are the first line of defense. In this case, the system failed.
The grand jury in July indicted Robert Cremo III on 21 first-degree murder counts, 48 counts of attempted murder, and 48 counts of aggravated battery in the attack in Highland Park. 5 years in prison for an Iowa construction worker who took part in the January 6th riot. Prosecutors say Douglas Jensen led a mob that chased Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman. Goodman led the rioters away from the Senate chamber. Wall Street, the Dow lost 281. America is listening to Fox News.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey, did you get that proposal done?
It can wait till tomorrow.
Some things can wait.
Should we book those flights to see your folks?
We can do it later.
But untreated COVID isn't one of them. If you're 50 or older or have a chronic condition, COVID can be deadly. Got COVID symptoms? Talk to a doctor and get treatment right away, because it just can't wait. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
California woman pled guilty in connection with a foiled abduction plot involving a critic of Iran.
The woman claims she was fooled by a group of Iranian operatives who tried and failed to kidnap a New York-based journalist critical of Iran. Federal prosecutors did not accuse Niloufar Bahadourfar of taking part in the plot to abduct Masih Alinejad, but they say 4 Iranians involved hired an American private investigator to watch the journalists, while the California woman acted as a go-between. She pleaded guilty to a charge of conspiracy to violate U.S. economic sanctions on Iran by helping channel money to the investigators. CJ Papa, Fox News.
North Carolina Supreme Court has determined the local chapter of United Daughters of the Confederacy lacks standing to challenge the city of Winston-Salem's removal of a Confederate monument on private property, but can refile a future lawsuit making similar arguments. A new poll finds Americans are pessimistic about how the economy will do next year.
2023 will be worse for the economy than this year, according to a majority of voters polled by the Wall Street Journal, which found 2/3 say the nation's economic trajectory is headed in the wrong direction. Economic pessimism strongest among Republicans, with 83% expecting the economy to worsen. Slightly more than half of independents feel that way, while 22% of Democrats do. And younger voters were more pessimistic than older ones. The findings suggest a recent spate of positive news, such as a slowing pace of inflation, hasn't changed the way a lot of people feel about the risk of a recession, something many economists believe is likely. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The Consumer Electronics Show is returning to Las Vegas next month with hope that it inches closer to the way it looked before the pandemic. Next month's show will also come amid a tough climate for the tech industry, which has gone through a spate of layoffs and hiring freezes. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Free Zones, Illinois, Champaign and Vanderbilt. Saturday, a fair amount of snow shower flare activity from time to time, all building into a system snow event. Middle part of next week, and that precedes a major pattern shift to a widespread cold wave weather pattern for areas from the Divide on east and all the way down to the Gulf Coast, including Johnny's Place, mid to late next week. In the meantime, a couple of snow showers and flurries that were around yesterday afternoon, coated the ground over in some areas to the north and west of Champaign. We'll see maybe some of that in spots here as the morning wears on, and later on this afternoon up to 32, gusty west wind, 21 the low tonight with flurries early on. Tomorrow mostly cloudy, breezy, cold, couple of snow flurries around for the afternoon, and the high near 28 degrees. Sunday outlook, more clouds, cold weather, highs up to 29, and a couple of snow showers and flurries around. They're with us here for Monday and Tuesday. High temperature either side of 30 degrees, up near 30 on Wednesday. Snow moves in Wednesday night, continues into Thursday, comes to an end by Friday. Cold wave weather with nights near zero and highs in the teens by late next week. For Steve J. Broadcasting, I'm Peter Olshes, Greg Solgay.
It's showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Pipes is writing down a lot of stuff. I'm just going to go from the gut. And joining us now, Coach Bielma, Josh Whitman joining us now.
You get to say all the cool name drops.
Do it.
Brad Underwood, our guest.
College hoops.
How do you lose to Jackson State?
Call up every single person in the media that didn't put Kofi first team All-American. And I don't know, just play like clown noises.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh, Michael Porter Jr. has been good, but he thinks the earth is flat, so I can't pick him.
Oh, boy.
Throw it up to Kofi, and he's just going to tear the rim off.
How is he so good? All right, Hans, I'm going to mute you for a while.
Okay.
Oh, there's a timeout on the court!
So what we want to do is build a same-game parlay that will win all of us some money.
Maybe Rondale Moore could be Cooper Kupp, but he's not. Is it Instagram?
Yeah.
Is that what IG means?
I think you have to win the Big Ten title to win Big Ten Player of the Year.
Woohoo!
Wow, what a bad take.
Oh, yeah. We got 3 NFL games tomorrow. Good evening, by the way. It is The Drive with Tay and Piper. I am Lon Tay, Derek Piper in the house. Kyle went home for Christmas, so not going to hear from him for a while. But we can handle it. We don't need him here. We were starting to get kind of, we were starting to get a little bit needy of Kyle there. Like, hey, do this and do that. And so I think it happened at the right time.
I think we really tested him.
We did. We have. And by the way, I ate my Lou Malnati's pizza. And as...
How was it?
Oh, I love it. The only thing, I told Kyle this, it has chunky, a little bit of tomatoes. It's a little bit chunky. You know how, I mean, there's tomato, obviously, in every pizza, but the Malnati pizza is a little bit chunky, and so that's not my favorite, but I really enjoyed the pizza. And good luck cutting it with just a regular pizza cutter. Because the crust is really, it's like sits up about an inch taller than the pizza, and the pizza's tall. So it's just, you almost want to take a huge knife and like samurai it. And just, because otherwise, like if you saw the pizza pan when I was done cutting it, it was a mess. I'm like, okay, well, and then I brushed a little bit of the chunky tomatoes off, and then I just went to town. So, all right, it is time to welcome in on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. Of course, did that last hour with Brad Evans. Great stuff there. It's time to welcome in our guy, Luke Goody. What's up, Luke?
How you doing? How you doing?
We are well, my friend.
Is there a favorite pizza place you're missing from Indiana?
Pizza King.
Pizza
I don't
King.
know if that's a chain or like if it's around, but that's a pretty good pizza spot up in Fort Wayne.
Okay. Did they have monocles in Fort Wayne?
They do not. Not that I know of. They might in like small towns around the area, but nowhere where I was near.
All right, because I know Monocles is in Indiana as well. I knew that. So I'll tell you all about all the sponsors that make this happen here in a minute, but we've got a few questions. This is a big one, Luke. Do you like country music?
Oh, I love country music.
Dang
love
it!
You were wrong.
I was wrong.
Wrong.
I was wrong. We know Matt does, so we assumed that you did. Or Derek said yes. I said, I bet he doesn't like it, but you do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like country music a lot, actually.
Well, ditto. Do you ever get to pick the music or Brad Underwood?
I do not get to pick the music on the court because my teammates hate it. But if I go in and lift with Coach Flex, I play country music because he likes it too. So it works out.
Well, it was funny because Brad, before the Maryland game, said, I want to actually play music that they don't like to get them ready for a little bit of a hostile environment, so to speak.
Yeah, well, if he played country music, me and Matt would enjoy it, but I don't know if anybody else would.
Who hates it the most?
Who hates it the most?
Yeah.
Probably Dane or Coleman.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Coleman doesn't get down to a little Chesney?
No, not at all. I'll play it like in my room when I'm playing, when I'm playing video games or something like that, and he'll tell me to turn off the country without, in a lot less of a nicer way.
Right.
They know that you guys are going to Knoxville next year, right?
Oh.
You got that Tennessee-Illinois series, and I think they'll play a little bit of country down there in Tennessee, I would imagine.
Top, baby.
Yes, sir.
How cool is that, Luke? You come to Illinois, you expect to play in big games, obviously. You play in the Big Ten, you play a challenging non-conference schedule, but to see Brad's schedule, Tennessee is one of the top teams in the country, and just know that that's going to be, each and every year you're going to have some really cool tests, go to some cool new venues, and play some teams you maybe wouldn't normally play. To see that scheduled next year, what was your reaction to that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to know that we'll have the competition, outside of the conference, pre-conference games that'll really ready us for those conference games. When you play a program like Tennessee that's so well coached and has such a good culture, winning culture there, it's going to really test us, before the conference starts, and I think that's huge. Being able to go to new places and visit other colleges that you wouldn't normally get to visit is pretty cool.
You guys have two great non-conference wins on your resume right now with UCLA and Texas.
Sir.
Unfortunately, an 0-2 start in the Big Ten, and Brad was pretty displeased after the 15-point loss at home to Penn State. What was this week like in terms of how he handled that and just what the goal in practice was to kind of respond and right the ship, so to speak?
Yeah, the whole thing during the week was just to, play as hard as you can. I think against Penn State, we got into trouble with, not playing this hard and at the standard of, Illinois basketball in what we usually play at. So, after having that disappointing loss, I think the biggest focus this week was, just play hard, play Illinois basketball again. And, our practices were really, high intensity, attention to detail, and, coach is holding us to a high standard, which is what we should expect from him.
This will be a dumb question, but I ask a lot. Did you really need that? Did I don't mind what Coach said, just for the record. I had coaches that exploded on me and would say crazy stuff. We just didn't have press conferences back in the day at my little high school. But, did you guys need that? Like, does that wake you up? Or is that one of those things where when you're walking in after the Penn State game, you know very well what you guys didn't do?
Yeah, I think it's more of him just trying to challenge us as players. He tries to get his message across in practice, and obviously sometimes that doesn't work. So, the next option is to go tell the media about it. And once that word's out there that, what he expects from us and kind of how he felt after that loss, I think it just puts even more of an expectation on us and, the strive to keep playing hard and getting better and, not have those lapses during those games and, come together as a team.
I tweeted out after the game that what we need is some Luke Goody. That's what we need because I know you like to challenge your teammates. Can you challenge your teammates while you don't play?
It's definitely harder. I will say that, when you're out there grinding with those guys every day and practicing and, experiencing the same stuff as them, it's a lot easier to, say your 2 cents and help out the guys and, be that vocal leader. And then when you're not playing, you're not experiencing the same things as your teammates. And, that does make a difference because you're not in practice 2.5, 3 hours a day with those guys working hard. You're on the sideline watching them run and do all the extra stuff. So it's definitely different. I still try and be a voice and a presence in the gym. Going to the whole practice now, which is nice, and try and help out the guys if they have questions or anything. But I don't try and get too involved because I don't want my teammates to feel like I'm trying to be a coach or anything like that. Like I just want to stay as a teammate and say a few things here and there. Really encourage my guys, mostly positive things, and just kind of be that figure if they need to go to.
Our Luke Goody segment brought to you by Max Twin City Recycling, the Apple Dumplin' Restaurant, Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, and the University of Illinois Alumni Association. How long does a loss sit with you guys, and is it different per player?
That's a good question. I would definitely say it's different per player. 100%. How guys performed in the game. If you had a bad game and lost, I think it's a lot worse than if you had a good game and lost, which is still bad. Obviously, none of the guys on our team like to lose, even if they do have a good game. But I think it's definitely different. Some guys, watch film after the games and see all the things that they really did wrong, and some guys just kind of squash it and just don't think about it anymore. So I think it's different per person. So that's about it.
Luke, back on the leadership note, how much of that are you missing? Like in terms of obviously you want to be out there and be making shots and be in front of the crowd and doing your thing, but just it feels like the communication part of how much you talk on defense and how much you talk up your guys. We saw that last year even with you as a freshman. How much are you ready to get back in those battles and to be able to have that be something you can add to the team too?
Yeah, I'm just excited to go back and help my team win and, do absolutely the most I can to get there and help this team win. I think, that's one of the things that I'm able to bring is that vocal leadership. I think the guys out there right now, they do a really good job of leading by example and, doing what Coach says. But I think, adding that aspect of, having that vocal leader and the vocalization, I think that's a huge thing because, player-run teams are a lot more successful than coach-run teams in the sense of, just leadership and where it comes from. So I'm just excited to go back out and help my team win.
Lon asked you about you hit the locker room and then you kind of that you disappointed, you didn't play up to par. When you hit the practice court after that, do you know it's on, or does Brad Underwood have to tell you that it's on and that it's going to be a little bit more demanding this week versus other times?
You just know. Honestly. Like, if you come off a loss, you just know that the practices are going to be a little more high intensity because, you got to fix what you did wrong. So everybody just kind of knows. It's more of a feel thing, not necessarily a statement thing. So that's kind of it.
Coleman mentioned that the treadmill has been a little bit more prevalent. Oh boy. Now, we were wondering if you could fill us in on what's the ask when you get sent to the treadmill. You may have never been told to go to the treadmill. I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't, but can you fill us in on what that looks like if you do get that assignment?
Yeah, no, I've been to the treadmill a few times. Obviously not this year, but last year I've been a few times. It's really not that bad. Honestly, it's just one of those things like, hey, you messed up, go run on the treadmill for 30, 45 seconds and get back into practice. It's different because you're at a full sprint instead and stuff like that. So
I like.
You don't get to just set it for a 10-minute mile and cruise for a little bit. No.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't get to watch Netflix shows like I do when I'm walking comfortably on the treadmill? Okay, that makes sense.
Absolutely not.
I've got one for you that's a little off the beaten path. I saw that UCLA beat Maryland. You guys obviously defeated UCLA. With them and USC coming to the Big Ten, has it hit you that they're coming? And what was the excitement level for you and this squad in knowing that the Big Ten is increasing by a couple of teams and they're teams that are like nowhere near the Midwest?
Yeah, it was interesting, honestly. Like, it kind of puts a new spin on, conferences and the whole idea of a super conference and stuff like that. And, obviously there's monetary reasons why it happened for the markets and stuff, TV markets and stuff like that. But it's pretty cool, two schools that have a lot of history in both football and basketball, and I'm sure other sports that I'm not familiar with. To join a conference as prestigious and good as the Big Ten, it's pretty exciting. So just being able to get, couple free trips out to California, my senior year will be nice.
No doubt. I got another one off the wall. Does it bother you as much as us that Wisconsin wins?
I actually got a friend on Wisconsin, so if they're not playing other, if they're playing non-conference games, I'll root for them. But once it gets into conference, you want to see the teams that win lose. So
they bug the hell out of me.
Yeah,
sorry.
There's another team in Wisconsin that bugs the hell out of me. While we're asking you off the wall, I mean, we get nitty-gritty with you on basketball for good reason,
yes.
But I know you're a football fan too. NFL playoff pictures coming together. Is Tyler and Brad, the Chiefs are having a good year when some people said, Tyreek's leaving, they could be down. Are they getting a little too chatty? Chester with the Ravens, they're always in the mix.
Oh.
What's going on as far as the NFL talk?
Tyler is a pretty big Chiefs fan. I'm not gonna lie. So he's always saying stuff and trying to let everybody know that the Chiefs are the best team in the league. Coach Frazier doesn't talk about it as much, but everybody's kind of got their own team, and we go back and forth about it. But that's about it. If I had to pick a winner right now, though, I'd probably say the Bills are going to win it. That'd be my pick right now.
Let's go. Luke Goody's with me on that one. I know this. I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan, and when the Chiefs blew them out week 1, the only text I got from Tyler said, "I thought you'd be better." I was like, oh, thanks a lot, my man. All right, here come the fantasy playoffs. Just like Luke Goody, I'm 0-0. Are you going to win your league?
I have a chance to win the family league. I do have a chance to win that. The one with my friends, though, I didn't make the playoffs. We already ended the season, so I didn't get last though, because the punishment for last is way worse than not getting first. So it's a good thing that I didn't get last.
I have a buddy that does one, and if you finish last, you have to sit in Marianne's Diner for 24 hours. But every pancake you eat knocks an hour off. So you can, if you can sit there and hammer down pancakes, you can only maybe sit there 12 hours. So
that's funny, because that's the exact same punishment that we have.
Nice! I love it, man. Well, that's not, to me, I'd rather finish last. I can take a book. What the heck? Well, Luke Goody, listen, my man, let's get back on track against A&M, and then maybe we'll hopefully talk to you before that Missouri game next week. If not, how exciting is that going to be with Mizzou coming up?
Yeah, we're excited. We're really excited. Bragging Rights game every year is a huge rivalry game, and they're pretty good this year. So it'll be a fun game. The game's sold out already, so we're excited. We're looking forward to it.
Let's go, Luke Goody. Always great to visit with you, my friend. Have a great Friday, and good luck tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, Luke.
That is Luke Goody. Always great stuff with him. And again, the Luke Goody segment is brought to you by Max Twin City Recycling. That's trusted recycling. Get this, since 1955. Think of how many things they've recycled since 1955. Excuse me. Also by the Apple Dumpling Restaurant. That's on High Cross Road in Urbana. I've told you that's family-style food that is just comforting to the stomach and everywhere. And you just want to go take a nap after you eat apple dumpling. It is so good. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's your home's best friend, and man, did it get cold. I hope your furnace is ticking. I hope you had Dogtown out and they had things rolling because, man, it's supposed to be 8 degrees Friday, I think. Or I'm sorry, next Friday.
Yeah, I was looking towards, what's the Christmas type of forecast. I believe Christmas Eve's high is like 11.
Oh.
And Friday the 23rd is like 8, like you said.
You think Santa wears long underwear?
He's got to.
He'd have to, right?
Gotta go full Carhartt gear.
Yeah, I was going to say. So, do you think anybody gives Santa a gift? Besides the cookies and the milk, have you ever left a gift for Santa?
I haven't.
That's kind of rude.
But now
isn't it?
I think Cade should start that tradition.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Like a 6-pack of Bud Light or something like that.
I would agree with that.
I think Santa would really enjoy that. I think he would love that. That's funny because I just thought of that, like how rude I am in life that for 52 years, I've never left Santa a gift. I've just always expected gifts. And he's always delivered. Also, by the way, by the University of Illinois Alumni Association, shop the alma market at uiaa.org. Of course, they are a proud sponsor of our text line, the U of I Line and Link text line. Luke Goody joined us there on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. Coleman Hawkins, he got right to it today, didn't he?
Yeah, some interesting responses on the subject of leadership and how he's trying to step up into that role and what that's looking like, and just kind of flipping the switch, getting a little bit more serious, a little bit more cutthroat, shall I say? Just in terms of understanding, you're about a month and a half into this season.
Yeah.
Even for the young guys, they're getting acclimated. They should be able to make less mistakes, and don't take that the wrong way in that it wasn't just, you lost to Penn State because Jaden Epps and Sky Clark, and it was the freshman's fault. Like, the vets sat a good amount there for a while there in that second half as a message that Brad was sending to those guys. So it was a collective effort in terms of not getting it done, and now how do they address that? And as I mentioned, the treadmill is part of Brad's approach in that.
I wonder how odd it feels to be Sincere Harris when Brad Underwood basically calls you out as the one guy that works hard all the time.
It's got to feel great. I love how he's playing.
He's impactful. Not many can do as much as he does in the minutes he plays. Did that make sense?
I agree. I mean, just the momentum plays that he makes.
Yeah.
You think about the huge block he had against Texas. You think about the way he hounded Tiger Campbell in that game early second half when it started to change the momentum, the trajectory of that game to get Illinois back in it and be able to win. And for a freshman that if you would have went through it, and we did it during the summer, like who's going to make the most impact? What's kind of the role for each of these guys year one? Sincere just didn't know how much he was going to play. Mm-hmm. And it helped that we would never wish injury on anybody, especially our guy Luke Goody. But when Luke went down, it was a big point to someone's got to step up and provide a lift off the bench, and Sincere's done that. And he's someone that even as Luke comes back needs to be in the game. Like, he played a season-high 20 minutes against Penn State, and that might be, until proven otherwise, kind of the standard for a Sincere Harris with how hard he plays.
On the flip side, Ty Rodgers has been a guy that I thought going into the season, most of us thought would give the most – I would play maybe the best right off the bat because he was equipped, let's say. I think we voted that on regarding his body. He's strong. We thought, well, he can take the college game and go from there, but he's really had the hardest time adjusting. And Brad Underwood even mentioned it today that Ty Rodgers has got to rebound. He's got to go do those things. Do you think he's just scuffling and just trying to find his way with regards to how he fits, not only in the college game, but specifically to this Illinois offense?
Yeah, I think he's pressing.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's feeling like he's not living up to his own standards. He knows that he can play better. It's just trying to find his way, and he's playing sped up. Like, he had a couple of moments. He scored 6 points, which was a season high against Penn State. I loved his first move. He had a nice little spin move in the lane and a finish, but then tried to go back on like a back down and was a little just too ahead of himself, and then compounded that with losing the ball and then fouling. And fouling has been an issue for him. He's gotten in foul trouble. And then just playing a little too sped up offensively. And I know that he was working after practice today. Jeff Alexander was putting him through an individual workout where they were hitting him with pads, like, the whole football style, where he's there in the lane, and they're trying to beat him up and let him handle contact and still be able to finish. I think that that's still a role where I know even if you were high on Ty Rodgers going into this year, you probably didn't think he was going to score a ton.
Right.
'Cause that just hasn't really been his MO. You thought he'd just be that Swiss Army knife. He might give you, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals on a given night. But it's been hard for him to sustain and be on the floor and be someone that can earn consistent minutes. So I think it will still come for him, but he's fighting a little bit, but you hope that some of the scoring he did against Penn State he can build off of.
It's a good thought to think that he may still be there. I mean, we got a lot of season left.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's a good thought to think that. All right, when it's said and done, there people are going to be like, that Lon, as an athlete, he was a presser. He was always pressing. Because usually when you say that, somebody's not doing well. Well, he's pressing at the plate. That would be
I think
me.
A lot of us can relate to that.
Right. Lon, the presser. And it's not, he didn't full court you. He just always pressed. Bless his heart. All right, let's listen to Coleman Hawkins when we return. First, the holidays are upon us, and it's easy to forego financial plans. Spend! But now's the time to organize and plan for the coming year. Here's a few issues to consider from the inexperienced professionals. I just said inexperienced. They're anything but. From the experienced professionals at Busey Wealth Management. Tax planning. Maximize those tax deductions across the board and plan your tax strategy for the coming year. Don't forget, if you're self-employed, there's a number of legitimate business expenses that can be deducted. Charitable contributions. You can benefit your overall financial plan by decreasing current and future income taxes. You can reduce potential estate taxes, and you can help to provide retirement income by giving to charity. College planning, you have a range of opportunities there. Retirement planning, always evaluate when you'll be able to retire. Work with your financial advisor to align your spending, saving, and investment strategy. Busey just understands what you probably don't. Let them tell you what you need to do. Start your year-end planning today with the experienced professionals at Busey Wealth Management. Stay financially fit through next year and beyond. Call 1-800-67-BUSEY or visit Busey.com. Member FDIC.
If you're looking for a new car, go to Sarah Champagne, because at Sarah Subaru, they have over 100 new Subarus available right now, all with symmetrical all-wheel drive. The Subaru Share the Love event is on too. With every new Subaru purchased or leased through January 3rd, Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of charities. Sarah Subaru will also donate an additional $50 to the Champaign County Humane Society right here in our community. Visit Sarah Subaru right off Route 45 in Savoy.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Like most banks, we offer an app that lets you do pretty much everything you need from your pocket. But at Iroquois Federal, we believe great banking is less about the app you tap and more about what you tap into. And for us, that's a hometown bank where decisions are made locally by the same folks you'll bump into on the bleachers at the next big game, providing the hometown touch that's made us part of the community for nearly 140 years. Iroquois Federal. Still friendly, still local, still here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
If you want a steak, I mean a steak, prepared the way you want it, you've got to go to Long Branch Steakhouse. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. It's been over a year since I was introduced to Donnie at the Long Branch Steakhouse in Gifford. And when I want a great steak, that's where I go. And the sides, the Brussels sprouts, the mac and cheese, and the salad with Donnie's secret frog dressing. Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford. Open Wednesday through Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. There's always room for the Long Branch Steakhouse.
Prairie Gardens is your local one-stop gift shop. It's a magical winter wonderland full of perfect holiday gifts. With candles and scents full with warmth and cheer. Stocking stuffers and toys for the smallest of receivers. Gifts for the gardener and bird lover. And a peachy boutique with buy one, get one half off savings. All jewelry, hats, gloves, and scarves. Buy one, get one half off this week. At Prairie Gardens, your Christmas destination for over 50 years.
Kurt Lehman at Aftershock. What do they do?
We'll start with the cheaper end of it. We do anything from, we print on direct to substrate, so we'll do yard signs, we'll do banners, and then we'll get into doing the die-cut graphics or like fleet graphics, so we'll do stuff for wall graphics, doing stuff like that, and then into where we do, partial vehicle wraps. They can be partial vehicle wraps can be very cost effective, really make the vehicle stand out without covering every inch, of them.
AftershockDD.com.
Hi, this is Chris Jackson with Kramer Siding and Window. And whatever your project, you can count on Kramer Siding to offer you the best products backed by the best warranties in the business and a lifetime of great customer service. And right now, you can save 10% on roofing, sunrooms, and decks, get 15% off gutter helmet, and you can save 25% on preservation siding, windows, and doors. So call today or visit us at kramersiding.com and let's get started on your project.
If you need insurance, you gotta go to Insurance Providers Group. They can help you like they've helped me. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. Insurance Providers Group can get you a quote on all aspects of personal, business, agricultural, life, and health insurance and employee benefits. They represent many insurance companies that allow them to provide you with the most competitive rates and the best coverage. Call Kyle Lewis at 217-352-7080 or email Kyle at ipgins.com or go to the website for a quote at ipgins.com.
Here's what new customers are saying about Interstate Batteries.
It's nice to see capable and helpful associates. They did a top-notch job.
They were easy to talk to and explained everything.
Service was prompt and I was a walk-in. Total service time was only like 20 minutes. I highly recommend Interstate Batteries.
Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. How much is dependable worth? Experience them for the first time at 2504 North Mattis. Way out there, but worth the drive. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
Visit InterstateBatteries.com.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Max Kellerman. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, it is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay, Derek Piper. I'm getting ready to head to Stanford, not Palo Alto or whatever. It's probably a better, warmer destination than Stanford, Illinois. Our buddy Matt Lang said there is not a bar in McLean. And Austin said basically there's just a truck stop. So,
all right.
Yeah, what are they doing? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm excited to get through McLean for the first time in my life. I've been through Hayworth, but I've just never been through McLean, so I can mark another little city in Illinois off. Like, really? Like, who cares about that? Well, I do. I update a stat, right? I update another.
Yeah, that is one. I bet you should be more interested in checking off cities in Florida.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Although I think you found the right one.
Right.
And go to St. Pete. And
I just always settle on the same.
Joey asked me today, and I'm sure it's fine saying on the air, he said, how many beers do you think I can get Lon to buy me?
Well, he's got to come to the beach. But if he comes to the beach, I'm all about it. We'll go to Chris's bar.
Say he's looking forward to putting one or two back with you.
Let's go. I do worry about that with regards to where everybody's going to be, because I think a lot of Illini fans are going to Tampa. Like Mike Carpenter's going down there. Harry Black's going to be there, but they're going to be over more by Ybor City in Tampa, whereas Andrew and I are going to stay on the beach. I mean, nothing against Tampa's a beautiful place, but I'd rather see the beach for a couple days than go see the game.
Yeah, for sure.
But, that's a pretty good 30 to 40 minute drive, Uber ride to the beach. So I don't know that Joey wants to do that.
Joey and Jeremy are driving down. So they'll have the car.
Well, let's go. Come on over. We'll go to Chris's bar. And
I'm starting to feel a little left out.
I was going to say.
Today at media, they were like, DB said, I don't know when to do Underwood before the Northwestern game because you guys are all going to be in Florida. I'm like, raises his hand in the back. I'll be here.
Derek in the very back.
You guys just text me your questions. I'll make sure everybody gets asked what they're supposed to be asked.
You're the pool reporter that week.
I'll handle it.
That's kind of funny. Derek is the pool reporter. Usually you save that for
I'd rather be in the pool as a reporter, but no, I'll be here.
That's kind of funny. I never thought of that. Usually that's saved for like an umpire makes a bad call and they have the one pool reporter go in and talk to him and then he distributes the sound bites. But it's nothing bad. You're just going to be the only guy here.
Let's be honest. How many questions are going to be coming off of Bethune-Cookman before they go to Northwestern? I think we'll be good.
Coach, is this your last matchup against Chris Collins?
Ooh.
Did they win a game?
They won at Michigan State.
That's right. He went over and gave a huge hug to Tom Izzo. And Izzo, those two like each other, don't get me wrong. And Izzo, Izzo looked like he was like, why are you hugging me? Like, you won.
You just won.
Just get off me. Just get off me.
Izzo likes guys he can beat.
Yeah. Love John
I know
Gross.
and then he Remember how mad he was when they fired Bruce?
Oh, that's right.
That was always the narrative around town.
Actually, it was more Bruce than
Izzo
Gross.
really got on Illinois for getting rid of Bruce, but then they're like, yeah, I just think he likes beating him.
I think you're right. I think you're exactly right on that. Yeah, I said that wrong. It wasn't. I'm sure he liked Gross, but yeah, it was more Weber. Yeah, for sure. All right, Coleman Hawkins. This is you said this is some interesting stuff.
I hope it delivers. I've hyped it up, but you got to listen to what he's saying because he gives some interesting responses.
I love it. All right, I'm going to bail out. You're going to handle the rest of the show here.
I got you.
Part-timer, as Cliff always says. So, Cliff, I'm part-timing it as well. I have a good excuse. A long drive ahead. All right, here is Coleman Hawkins.
Coleman, so you've been here a while, and you know Coach Underwood's coaching style, but has it been any shock to the younger guys when he has some harsh things to say after the Penn State game?
No, I think we need that. I think he's been kind of easy on the new guys this year, but I think the freshmen can't be freshmen no more. I think it's about to be. I mean, it's the end of the semester. He's going to have to coach these guys hard, yell at all of us. So I think it's needed. So if that's fear, and this isn't the program for them, they shouldn't be here because that's Coach Underwood's coaching style. So, yeah.
Why do you think your team came out a little bit flat against Penn State? Is it something easy to correct?
I think it was just effort. I think we're just lazy. We haven't been playing with no effort, energy. Yeah, it's just not there. Not doing our stuff. We knew they were going to come in and shoot threes. We didn't run them off the line. We didn't get to our press either, which I think works great for us when we actually do it. So, yeah, we just didn't execute at all. So
we asked for more leadership. What does that mean to you when you hear that?
I mean, it's tough because it just goes both ways. Like, you know, you get on guys and you yell at them, and then all of a sudden they're telling you got to chill out. You know, I've yelled at guys in media timeouts, but they always seem to cool me down. So I think we need to, you know, get on people. I think it's been a little too timid and kind of too soft in a way. I think we've needed a week like the week we had this week. So
how do you guys address this week? How did you address maybe all those things?
I mean, I didn't really say too much. I just let Coach Underwood handle it at practice. Kind of just coach us. I mean, I think like if the new guys don't understand, you know, I'm getting yelled at for the stuff they do, then, you know, they're gonna have to understand it, and I'll get that message across too. But yeah, just letting Coach Underwood take care of things. So.
How have you kind of learned to adapt to his kind of coaching style over the 3 years that you've been here?
I just know a lot of stuff's gonna be said. Just tune it out. Trent, all those guys were good at kind of just saying, nah, screw that, like moving coach's words to the side and just playing through it. So that's kind of what I do. You know, sometimes we stop and listen to him talk, and I'm just like, nah, come on, let's just keep going. And he's yelling and screaming. Once he yells and screams, like, and you're sitting there listening to it, you're gonna think about it all the time. You just got to move on from it. So.
Underwood said Trent texted you guys. You know, what did it mean to you to hear from Trent, and also what did that text say?
I mean, he texted Coach. Coach told us what he said. I mean, it's cool they text and they have that relationship, but I mean, Trent's not here no more. It's on us to play hard and do all that stuff. You know, Trent can text and say as much as he can, but at the end of the day, it all comes back on us. We have to perform. We have to go out. None of these guys truly knew Trent, but you know, it may not motivate them like how you know may motivate me. But like I said, at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to do our deal. We can't control what we can control, and go out and play hard. That's all it is. So.
What was this week like in practice with Coach?
You know, Coach was just more on top of things as far as kind of being more picky about things. You know, if you make a mistake, go run on the treadmill. It wasn't, you know, make a mistake and, oh, it's okay, let's do it over again. You know, it's not like that no more. So I think it was good for us. You know, mistakes aren't good. We can't make mistakes. We made too many mistakes against Penn State. That's all that happened. So.
Is this like the unofficial return of the treadmill?
Huh?
Was this like the unofficial return of the treadmill?
Yeah, I don't. They got it back up and running. So I don't know how they did it, but they did it. So it's up and running now. So.
on the leadership note, is it in-game stuff? Is it practice? What do you think he's really wanting there?
I don't know. I think I just had a difficult time trying to get the right approach to our guys. I think in previous years with the older guys, it's easy for people to, speak their mind and people not getting their feelings. But I think I just got to find the proper approach to talk to the team and just be like, look, guys, we can't do this or that. And, find the right tone for it, because some guys might take it differently. I just mean it in a winning way. I don't mean it to affect anyone's feelings. So I think it's just me trying to find the proper approach to get messages across the guys. So.
Trent, you were here as a freshman when IO had a players-only meeting and basically laid the wood to everybody. As a freshman, what did that do for you and kind of show you how this had to go?
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I played with pros, played with Jalen Green. He's calling meetings, so I'm used to, people doing that. So it wasn't anything new to me. It wasn't anything like this is what I have to do with this team. But I'm sure, if anything else happens and those messages have to get across, and it has to come down to it, we will get there. But right now I think we're good. We're in a good space. Like I said, letting Coach Underwood handle things, be on top of things at practice. So I think we're in a good space.
Do you feel like, that's what I want to follow up, do you feel like this week addressed a lot of those concerns that he had or the frustrations that he had?
Yeah, for sure. Just getting across that, we didn't play hard against Penn State. It was embarrassing to go out on our home court. Those many mistakes, lose by that many points, and that's embarrassing. So it's just address effort, not playing hard, not executing, dribbling too much, not moving the ball. Got in some new offensive things, so it should all play out. And if you think about the last two-year teams, got popped by Cincinnati, got popped by Marquette, and then we had the same, it feels like the exact same turnaround. Freshman year, almost got beat by Ohio, got beat by Baylor. I think we lost to somebody else. I think it was Maryland we shouldn't have lost to early. So the last 2 years, we've always had the games we get popped and then there's a turnaround and we start playing well. So I think this team it's only up from here.
That is Coleman Hawkins with some great insight, some honest perspective on him developing as a leader, and mentioned he thinks that this is good for the team to have to be a little bit more to the point and not accept mistakes and be a little bit more harsh on those that are making some recurring mistakes. And I think it's interesting and it's honest from him, and I appreciate it as a media person, and I think anyone out there, just you don't always get that from a player who's going to let you all the way inside of the development of leadership. And when you insert the transfer portal and just so many different guys, which obviously was a huge storyline for this team going into this year, how leadership manifested, how quickly, and how the new leaders in that locker room, when you don't have Trent Frazier, when you don't have DeMonte Williams, when you don't have Io, how that played out was a big storyline. And now I think you're seeing Terrence, who was a big one throughout the offseason, but got called out by Brad after the Penn State game. And as we talked about earlier in the show, Coleman Hawkins being someone that has a vested interest in this program, has been here for a long time, has seen how those other guys led, is now put in that role, but he's still trying to navigate that and see how certain guys respond to him. So I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was honest, and I appreciated that. So that was Coleman Hawkins who joined us today, and we'll get a little bit of Brad Underwood before we wrap up the show. We got to catch a quick break, and you'll hear some Brad before we end. This is The Drive.
There is one name you need to know in car repair in the Central Illinois area, and that's John Marshall. John is the owner of PDR Automotive in Urbana and makes it his mission to know that your car will start when you come to pick it up. John strives for a repair in the most efficient time possible and is the right person to take care of your car. From tires to engine to electrical to the simple oil change. Trust in John at PDR. 1008 North Cunningham in Urbana. John's team will take care of you like family.
Now, the NIL jersey lineup for your Fighting Illini. Number 55, Sky Clark. Number 15, R.J. Melendez. Number 10, Luke Goody. Number 20, Ty Rogers. Number 0, Terrence Shannon Jr. And number 33, Coleman Hawkins. Get yours at State Farm Center on game day, online or in stores. Game Day Spirit, official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
If you're looking for a new car, go to Sarah Champaign, because at Sarah Subaru, they have over 100 new Subarus available right now, all with symmetrical all-wheel drive. The Subaru Share the Love event is on too. With every new Subaru purchased or leased through January 3rd, Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of charities. Sarah Subaru will also donate an additional $50 to the Champaign County Humane Society right here in our community. Visit Sarah Subaru right off Route 45 in Savoy.
Hi, this is Chris Jackson with Kramer Siding and Window. And whatever your project, you can count on Kramer Siding to offer you the best products backed by the best warranties in the business, as well as Central Illinois employees dedicated to providing you with professional installation and a lifetime of great customer service. And right now, you can save 10% on roofing, sunrooms, and decks, get 15% off gutter helmet, and you can save 25% on preservation siding, windows, and doors. So call today or visit us at kramersiding.com and let's get started on your project.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Mike Greenberg. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Is the drive with Tay and Piper, Derek Piper, Lonte en route to Stanford, wherever that may be. Hope Andrew Tay and the Sabres of STM get a victory tonight. I'm sure a lot of others out and about for some high school basketball. Always a great time of year to get that going. Holiday tournaments just around the corner. That'll be fun. But we are focusing on the Illini basketball, who returns to action tomorrow. 3 o'clock tip against Alabama A&M at the State Farm Center. We don't have much time to play all of Brad, but we will play a little bit more of him. Before we close out the show, Brad Underwood met with the media today. Here is your Illini head coach.
Coach, was this a good point in the season to have the week break between games, and how did you approach it?
I'd love to have a week off between just about every game. It's a little more difficult, Doug, because of finals. Now, once we get out of finals, we can. I think we had 2 guys this afternoon with finals, so we took Wednesday off. We did nothing. Everybody on our team had a massive day of finals Tuesday and Wednesday. We didn't practice Tuesday night till Tuesday night. A little shorter, abrupt workout, but. I mean, it was a good week of practice. It's also a mentally challenging week of practice from the academic side. Once we get through this finals thing, then we can really hone in.
To the points you raised post game on Saturday, how do you think your team is responding?
We'll find out tomorrow. It's been good. I mean, I've said it. Nothing's bigger than our culture, and Coleman's got to be a keeper of our culture and a leader, and the accountability is what I was frustrated with. If you go watch anything from our secret scrimmage to the game at Texas, effort-wise, and watch the other night, you'll see why I was upset. And I can get beat. I don't like it, but not that way. Not even trying. And that started the first possession of the game. So, we've had conversations about those things, and they're unacceptable. It wasn't easy emotionally. I get it, but we got to be bigger than that, and we got to accept any challenge. And we didn't meet that challenge very well.
Coleman mentioned that he met with some members of the staff to try to find the right approach as a leader. What approach do you want him to take?
it's not about what I want. It's about what he's capable of. And I mean, he's got to do that within his personality. You can't go be, Io. Io was in your face and he would fight you, and that's not him. Where Trent was more just demanding and effort and led by example, and that's Coleman. And Coleman will say stuff and he's got to just be a voice to understand what our expectation is and what our level of and what's established our culture. And if he does that, then we'll be fine. And I expect that same thing from Terrence. And Terrence has got a great voice in our locker room. And you can't have those two guys not be leaders, they're the experienced guys. I didn't get on the freshmen. I got on the veterans. And I was disappointed in them. So, I guess excuse me for wanting Terrence Shannon to play with the effort that got him 10 rebounds in one half against UCLA and goes 8 for 9. That's my expectation. Anything else, not gonna be that. Coleman's been in our program for 3 years. He's been a part of a lot of things he should know. So shame on me for expecting him to be that guy.
Good stuff from Brad Underwood, who's obviously not shy in calling out his guys and not apologizing for it either. I know he mentioned there he's kind of a little bit sarcastic and saying shame on me, but he's demanding more. He knows what Terrence is capable of. He knows what Coleman can do. Not only that, but knows Coleman is not a stranger or a newcomer to the standards that Brad Underwood has set here in Champaign, what he expects, and he hopes that Coleman's someone that can carry the torch as that culture guy that can pass it on to the others and be able to, as Brad has said before, a keeper of the culture within that locker room. So we'll find out tomorrow. It'll be very interesting to see how this team responds. And on that note, we gotta get out of here. Thanks to Brad Evans, who joined us on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. Our guy, great for fantasy, betting. Everyone follows him on Twitter. Everybody knows Brad. Brad does a fantastic job. We had Luke Goody, the Luke Goody Show today. As always, highly anticipated, great stuff from the Illini sophomore, who will hopefully be back on the floor sometime next month. We got to get out of here. We're running late. Everybody have a great weekend. Happy holidays, everybody out there. I'm out. It is The Drive.
When you're buying a battery, it's important to look beyond just the price and make sure you're buying a quality battery. So when you're buying one from the big box store, make sure you ask the question, what's the date on this battery? Is it dependable? Sometimes the big box stores have batteries that have been sitting on the shelf for years. Or you can just come to Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable, and buy your battery from the people who only do batteries. Interstate Batteries at 2504 North Madison, Champaign. Way out there, but totally worth the drive. How much is dependable worth to you? Interstate Batteries open 6 days a week.
Now, the NIL jersey lineup for your Fighting Illini. Number 55, Sky Clark. Number 15, R.J. Melendez. Number 10, Luke Goody. Number 20, Ty Rogers. Number 0, Terrence Shannon Jr. And number 33, Coleman Hawkins. Get yours at State Farm Center on game day, online or in stores. Game Day Spirit, official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
Crossroads Contractor Supply, bringing us our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month.
Patrol Lieutenant, Champaign County Sheriff's Department, our Law Enforcement Official of the Month, Tony Shaw. How hard is it to have people be negative toward you?
Absolutely. It's frustrating just because I know the character of the officers and the deputies and how dedicated they are to the citizens of Champaign County. But segments like this, and when Ferguson was happening and the Champaign County Fair, I had a lot of people come up to us, thank us for our service. And this past Champaign County Fair, the same thing. So in a sense, you get people that support you, are more vocal, maybe don't have the same platform, but are more vocal coming up to us and letting us know that they do support us. And so that's encouraging. So I'm hopeful, I'm encouraged, I'm a glasses half full kind of guy. And so I see nothing but a brighter future.
Crossroads Contractor Supply, delivering within a 150-mile radius of Champaign-Urbana, supporting our law enforcement official of the month.
What do you mean, I get the whole store?
I'm Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. And when we promise you the whole store, we mean all we do is appliances. We offer a showroom full of the top appliance brands, complete with our free 10-year protection plan.
Who does your warranty work? Some outfit with a 1-800 number?
No way! Our service and installation technicians are employed and factory trained by us. And our protection plan means you pay nothing for covered repairs.
So, I get a free 10-year protection plan, a guaranteed best deal, a hometown service department, and a showroom full of name brand appliances? Wow!
Hey lady, that's my line. All we do is appliances, and we do them better than anyone else. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store. See the showroom top designer shop. Flooring Surface is your first stop. Amazing selection, price, and style on hardwoods, laminates, carpet, and tile. Low prices on high fashion. Step up the flooring that gets a wow reaction. See the showroom top designer shop. Flooring Surface is your first stop. Flooring Surface is your first stop.
Flooring Surfaces now offers beautiful